So continuing this rebuttal of the conversation that I had with Stefan Molyneux.
So if I take a simple example like rain, I mean, the simplest explanation is that there's God. And then
sorry, the simplest explanation is what?
That's it. Some simplest explanation of rain is that there is God. And like God says, oh, I want to have the rain, and he starts the rain, and there's rain. So that's simple. But the real explanation, which we know now because of our understanding of atmospheric sciences.
No, but God is not a simple explanation.
Far more complicated.
No, God is not a simple explanation at all. Because the simplest explanation is just material forces and energies working on each other. The most complicated explanation is some omniscient, all-powerful, incomprehensible being is waving his magic wand and making the water droplets do this or that based upon his own particular whims. That's an incredibly complicated explanation.
Yes, in 2018, you can say that because you're in Canada and you have had education. But even in 2018, in some say rural.
I think Stefan is now insisting on saying that he's right no matter what he says, and so his assertion that God is a simple explanation and science is his assertion that God is a complex explanation and science is a simpler explanation, that does not hold water, because God has been accepted by lay people for thousands of years, but science, to understand, to explain phenomenon like rain with science, it takes a little bit more expertise and a little bit more study. So that is likely the more complex explanation. But now Stefan is in that mode where whatever he says is the right assertion.
Yeah, simplest explanation would be that it's God, because the complicated explanation, the real explanation, is so complex, and even the complicated explanation, even in the example of rain.
Okay, I don't want to have a philosophical conversation about rain. I want to get back to you. Hang on, I don't want, because you're going to try and draw me into abstractions to try and get me away from what's going on with you. So my question remains, Sanjay.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to that, what happened with the policewoman?
Right. So she wrote a report that...
that you're hearing voices.
I'm hearing voices, I'm hallucinating, so I should be confined to a mental health facility or psychiatric facility. So
now, was this shocking to you?
It was very shocking.
It was shocking to you that you go to the police and you say that you're being targeted by sinister, shadowy forces you can't prove, that you're hearing auditory hallucinations.
Now, I did not say sinister, shadowy forces, so Stefan is inserting these things to give weightage to what he's going to conclude in the end, and that is that this is all imaginary. So he's like inserting these little things like space and sinister shadows. I didn't say anything like that. I'm talking about whatever is possible physically, but he is now inserting these things to give credence to his assertion or conclusion, which is going to come later.
And you believe that invisible energy weapons are coming through the walls and making you woozy when you wake up at night.
Yes.
You're really shocked that the police would interpret that as signs of potential mental illness.
Yes, that was shocking to me. I mean,
but why?
I was going to work.
Why would that be shocking to you?
I did not have that understanding.
So he has conflated sinister shadows, which I never spoke about. And the direct energy devices, which he calls invisible energy weapons, which I never call them invisible. They are not invisible energy weapons. The energy which is used is not visible. So many forms of energy are not visible. Like, for example, X-rays and the electromagnetic fields. So he's conflating a falsehood with which he has cooked up with something which I had said, and then asking me to be answerable for why would anybody believe that. So that is a psychological technique many people use when they want to prove or when they want to implicate another person of making outlandish statements or claims
of authorities or police at that time. So
No, this is not an understanding of the police, although that helps.
I mean,
But you understand if
no, actually it is.
if someone came to you in 1998, right? Like, let's go back to Sanjay of 20 years ago, right? Somebody comes to you in 1998 and says, people are hiding under my toilet making knocking sounds. People are...
now again, here also he has distorted what I said. So what I've said that when I would go to the restroom, there would be a loud knock under the toilet seat. So he has distorted that to say that somebody is hiding under the toilet seat, which I mean really it's a far-fetched conclusion. Like if I go to a restroom and there's a noise under the toilet, then my obvious thought will be that it's coming from the apartment below, and so he has twisted it to mean that I was saying that somebody is hiding under the toilet. So this is another psychological technique that Stefan has been using, and now he's going to keep using this to twist something I said, which had sounded rather reasonable and very possible, into something which sounds really weird. Why he would do that? I mean, why is he indulging in this psychological manipulation and twisting of what I said and trying to put words in my mouth? So, I mean, even if he is having a hard time accepting what I'm saying, why would he twist those things in order to give support to his belief that it is not possible, or why would it happen? So that is, I think that's a little bit strange.
Installing sound devices in the HVAC system to simulate the closing of cupboard doors just to bother me, and there are invisible energy weapons that are making me woozy. We're going back to Sanjay 20 years ago. What would you say to that person?
I mean, it's difficult for me to be objective about this because
I get it.
I obviously,
It's an exercise in imagination.
Right, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, even if I haven't imagined it.
Again, I couldn't understand why he would ask that question unless he wanted me to admit, which he has been trying for the last few minutes, that I have some doubts about this, and I'm not sure that it actually is direct energy devices. It actually is called harassment. So he's trying to find an opening there, but I don't have any doubt. So,
but my personal experience is so direct and so obvious.
No, but if you had not experienced what you experienced, right? Because here's the challenge: is that this is isolating you enormously, right? And so you need to try and see it from somebody else's point of view. Now, you were unable to see it from the police's point of view, because otherwise you wouldn't have gone to them, right? Because that's not what you wanted.
You are making it sound like I should have been, but I don't agree with that, because, I mean, if you look at the image that the police have in the media, in the mainstream media, and overall, I mean, it's a very different image than what actually it is. And
no, I'm pretty sure. No, Sanjay. I've never seen somebody saying what you're saying and the police saying, yeah, sounds great, we'll start investigating the HVAC system.
Well, maybe I've never heard that also. But if you go through the news carefully, then HVAC systems are very commonly used by the countries for espionage.
So he's now saying that I have never heard police handle it in a way differently. But I mean, how many times does this gets reported to the police? How many people actually report this is happening? It's a very rare. Very few people are being covertly harassed in this manner. So that is quite true that there is a lack of precedence which is publicly available. So there is a lack of precedence of various things. So there is a lack of precedence of my friend being shot by the police or things like that. So I have heard it, I have seen it on TV. But then using the lack of precedence to assert that it's not possible, I think that's another technique that Stefan is doing now. So basically, he is driving towards a conclusion, and everything that he's doing is trying to get to that conclusion and trying to extract a corroboration from me that that conclusion might be a valid conclusion.
On other countries, for example, in Boeing 737, which was sold to China, they had found HVAC system in the plane riddled with auditory sensors and other sensors.
So I'm still, because I'm actually being exposed while I'm speaking with Stefan, and what this does is that it increases the heart rate and it interferes with the breathing, these energy devices, and so I have very shallow breathing, and I'm walking also to avoid being in the same place and being an easy target. And I'm also usually in the habit of saying and that's why my speech is so halting and close to stuttering, and so that will continue throughout the conversation. And I'm not always stuttering like that. So when I have not been exposed for a few days, then my speech usually comes back to normal and I stutter much less. And I would know that I'm having difficulty speaking or I'm not having difficulty speaking. But Stefan totally ignores that, and also his assertion is that you won't know because you are imagining these things. So that's a little risky. Then you're telling a person that what you are saying is happening to you is actually not happening. You're imagining this. That's it. Slippery slope.
Sure, spy planes have sensors.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. But you are not a Boeing 737 that's being sold to China. All right. So what?
So now he's mocking me. So if I give an example, he uses that example to mock. So he's not really thinking because he doesn't want to think. So he just he is in the mode of counter attack, and my heart rate now increased, and I think I start feeling that my lungs have I'm not breathing well, so I'm having more difficulty speaking. So when you speak, you need to have the airflow. So what these directly energy devices do when they interfere with your lungs is that they interfere with the airflow, and so now my heart rate is now 116. So when I first come here and I had started, my heart rate was 100, so now it's 116. So now I think they have started doing that here also.
What happened with the police when they said that they wanted to confine you? What happened?
So I was confined to a psychiatric facility. I spent a week there, and as soon as I came out, the very next day, my ex-wife sent me an email that I want to do an agreement with you.
She wants to do an argument, did you say?
No, an agreement. So I told her that I am out of the hospital now, and at that time I had 50% custody, both legal and physical. So I want to see my daughter. So before I had gone to the hospital.
Okay, sorry. Hold on a sec. Sorry about this. I just want to make sure I follow. Okay. So you go to the police, you tell them